Okay, up next we have Heather Vulin of Manhattan. So we can get Heather on here in a second. Oh, Coach, there you are. How are you? Oh, doesn't sound like we can hear you.
Can you hear me okay?
Now we can hear you. There you are.
Perfect.
Well, again, we have Heather Vulin of Manhattan. Coach, thank you very much for being on here. The Jaspers were ranked #1 this year on the women's side, in large part led by Courtney Worley and Emily LaPointe, just to name a few of your roster that returns a lot of players. Coach, if you could, just begin with an opening statement and what you can expect this year.
First, I'm just grateful we're even having a conversation about the season with everything that we've been through as a country with COVID. I was incredibly excited when I heard the news. I know I'm supposed to come in here and say that the preseason ranking means nothing. It's not a big deal, but for Manhattan College, it is a big deal. My staff and I came in 4 years ago, and I think the job that, as a group, staff, players, administration, I think the acknowledgement is tremendous. And I agree, it doesn't mean anything until the end of the year of who ends up winning, but it does show that we're in the conversation. All right, instead of being one of the teams picked at the lower end of the conference, we were acknowledged to be one of the top teams in the league for this year, and incredibly excited for everybody. I know our fan base was incredibly excited about it. And in a year when so much has been taken from us, we're going to take joy from this. We're really going to enjoy it, and we're going to use it as a motivator to make it happen and to earn the title by the end of the year.
Thank you, Coach. We'll now switch over to questions. Doug Feinberg, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I must say it's refreshing to hear a coach say that it means something to be #1 in the preseason, that you are going to enjoy it and such. My question is, with all that's going on off the court with COVID, how do you keep your team mentally into it and fresh and such? Because there is no coaching handbook or blueprint to how to handle this situation.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to stay connected. And I feel, unfortunately, since March, we've been able to really kind of find the right recipe for our team. It was really hard. Months and months of not physically getting to see my players. I was joking, I'm a mom, I have 2 small children. It made me think this is what it's going to be like when my own children go off to college and I'm relying on a FaceTime call to see them. It was horrible. But I just feel like one of the reasons why we've been able to make a big jump, in these last 4 years from, this senior class that I have was 10th. The first year, their freshman year, and now they're picked first. It's exciting for them, but we really are connected. All right, we make sure we have team meetings every single week, other than basketball. We make sure we find time off the court to embrace each other, to support each other, to work on our communication, to work on our leadership, and to also have fun off the court. And then on the court, I think we've done a really good job of just bringing in kids with high character. So when the going got tough, our character has shown, and we've been able to be strong and resilient through it.
Thank you, Coach. Just want to touch back on the poll. So obviously, as we said, Manhattan's #1 this year. But if you take a very close look, those top 3 teams,
Yep.
Fairfield, Quinnipiac, separated by 1 single point.
Exactly. Yep.
So if you could just speak on how close that is and how hard it'll be to be #1 this year.
Well, I think honestly in this league, it doesn't matter what you were picked preseason. I think the advantage that both Fairfield, Quinnipiac, and ourselves have is that we do have probably the most coming back this year. And I think we're all hoping our experience and then what our individual DNA will bring to the table this year. This new schedule that they put out with the Friday, Saturday back-to-back at the same sites, that's going to be a huge test. All right. I mean, I don't even want to play these guys 1 time on the road. Now possibly playing 2 times on the road, right? So right now, like, you know, I've said since this season, kind of, we all got back on campus, our biggest opponent this year, unfortunately, is going to be COVID. All right. I love competing against Joe and Trish and Brian and everybody else in this league. But at the end of the day, we all know in our hearts, the biggest opponent is going to be COVID. All right. We already have a number of teams that have been in pause or put in pause. And preparation is a big part. It's not just talent. It's just not, I mean, preparation is a huge part. So there's going to be all these curveballs thrown at us, and the team that's able to manage it the best, you know, whatever your preseason ranking is, you're probably going to have the best shot of winning it.
So again, with Manhattan being number one, we talked about how close it is, but at the end of the day, you still have the title of being the preseason favorite.
Yep.
Is there a certain mentality you have on the season, kind of like a target on your back, a chip on your shoulder, knowing that, you know, that the league's head coaches voted you officially as the team to watch? Or what do you tell your
Well, our mentality since we stepped on campus is, you know, we've got just an underdog spirit. We've got a giant chip on our shoulder. We always have something to prove. So whether they voted us 1 or 5 or 10, it's going to be the same approach. It's nice to have something to be joyful about right now. But at the end of the day, that our DNA is we try to outcompete everybody, and we try to prove something every time we step on that court.
And Coach, I'll end with this question just because I know you've had such a loud voice in this, but social justice. It's really been a big point in the MAAC this year with the MAAC United for Justice campaign and basketball teams placing a specific on Black Lives Matter. So with such a heavy focus on that this season, what are some of the things that you've been talking to your student athletes about, teaching them and even learning from them?
I just want to say, first off, like, it's been impressive to me how tough times can make people even closer. So I saw that within my own team. I've seen that with our MAAC coaches. I always felt like our women's basketball coaches have always had a good mutual respect and you know, cooperation when we're working on issues that affect the conference or affect women's basketball in general. But it's, you know, we've made a point, you know, since COVID and social justice has really been on the forefront to really, you know, stay connected. You know, we've been up in our meetings to every couple of weeks, every 3 weeks. We've been very active in our chat, trying to work together. And I think in terms of social justice, oh, hello.
Sorry about that.
Okay. I think what's really been important is that I think not just for our players, but also for ourselves, knowing that we're able to do more. I think sometimes maybe some things we thought maybe we could do, but we weren't sure how it would be perceived. Now we're in a culture and a climate that we can be more vocal, and we can be more supportive, and our players can be who they are and share how they're truly feeling. And I think their honesty has really made everybody grow and want to do more and make a bigger impact. And I'm excited that we're in the MAAC. I think the MAAC has been really proactive about our social justice initiatives. And I'm excited. And the big thing we want is that we just don't want it to be this year. Like, things that we're doing this year, we should be doing next year and the year after, because this isn't a one-time thing.
Awesome. Coach Heather Vulin of Manhattan, we thank you very much for taking time out of your day to join us on this. We hope that you, your players, your staff, your family all stay healthy this season. Yeah. And best of luck.
Yeah, I wish everybody the best of luck this year. I'm really excited for the season. Thank you so much.